Shay. Have your attention, please, if you're willing and able, if you'd be kind enough to stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the pledge to the flag. Dear Lord, we gather to make decisions for our community this morning. May we use our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and the pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always acting accordingly with what's best for the community and our fellow citizens. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With the regular public meeting, Henry County Board of Commissioners, 9 a.m. Tuesday, February the 3rd, 2015, come to order. Will somebody move to accept the agenda as published?
So moved.
Have a motion, District 3. Second, District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. So moved. Next, we'd like to recognize the Director of Communications, Melissa. And if you'd be so kind as to read the proclamation for the emergency preparedness. And I think later we're going to have to turn the heat down just a little bit. Two of us up here still breathing. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. This morning we have a proclamation in recognition of Severe Weather Preparedness Week, which started yesterday, runs February 2nd through February 6th, 2015. Whereas each year Georgians face the threat of severe weather events such as lightning, thunderstorms, floods, hailstorms, tornadoes, and hurricanes, all potentially dangerous to life, health, and property. And whereas in recent years Georgia has experienced record flooding and tornadoes, as well as snow and ice, with urbanization and population growth increasing the potential for these storms to cause damage. And whereas severe weather events in Georgia have killed at least 361 people since 1978, including one person in 2014, injured countless others, and caused substantial property damage. And whereas it is vital that effective public education programs concerning severe weather systems and preparedness procedures continue for the benefit of all Georgians. And whereas the Henry County Emergency Management Agency, as well as other departments and the agencies of the local, state, and federal governments, along with volunteer and professional associations, including the private sector, elected leaders, and the news media, are committed to informing Georgia citizens about safety and severe weather preparedness procedures so that they may better protect themselves, their families, and their neighbors. And whereas the state of Georgia launched Ready Georgia, a public awareness campaign to help citizens understand the importance of emergency preparedness and provide them with the tools necessary to be prepared in the event of a weather-related or other emergency. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Henry County Board of Commissioners that Henry County recognizes the week of February 2nd through 6th, 2015, as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Georgia, and we encourage our citizens to become more aware of severe weather safety measures and to participate in the various awareness programs scheduled during this week. This third day of February 2015, signed by Tommy N. Smith, Chairman, attested by County Clerk Shay Mathis. And I think Don Ash has a few words he'd like to say.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to come before you. What a difference a year makes. Last year, this time, we were coming off two very successful events, Henry County, 2 ice storms. And this year, as we work through Emergency Preparedness Week, we are working to educate and inform our citizens to be prepared for disasters, stating that the number one issue is emergency warning. And we're encouraging all our citizens that if they could purchase a NOAA weather radio, recognizing that early warning saved lives. Our agency will be working this month to reach out to members of our community, as well as doing storm spotter training, different programs that inform and educate the citizens about severe weather. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you, and we have a good staff of people. Several staff members are here that work in the trenches to prepare and inform our citizens to be prepared for disasters. I'll take any questions if you have any.
If not, let's have a picture. Next, we have a resolution to approve an open purchase order not to exceed $100,000 to pay Family Ties Incorporated as services are rendered in compliance with the grant previously received from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. Angela Craig. Good morning.
Amy Kuntz and I are here on behalf of Juvenile Court this morning, and we're seeking approval to receive an open purchase order not to exceed $100,000 to pay Family Ties Incorporated as services are rendered in compliance with a grant that we received from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. The Criminal Justice Coordinating Council awarded Henry County Juvenile Court $100,000 through a federal juvenile accountability block grant program to implement additional services for our kids. The funding opportunity will afford our county the ability to provide the most intensive evidence-based programming with the goal of keeping our children in the least restrictive environment. Juvenile Court is coordinating this effort with Family Ties Incorporated, who is a certified facilitator of functional family therapy. The Board of Commissioners approved this action and granted acceptance of the award from CJCC on December the 16th of 2014. Services commenced immediately upon approval, but Juvenile Court did not secure an open purchase order to compensate the vendor as services were rendered. I'm respectfully seeking approval for the issuance of an open purchase order to facilitate payment for services provided through this effort. The total amount to be paid to Family Ties Incorporated will not exceed $100,000 through June the 30th of this year.
Anybody have any questions or comments? If not, we have a resolution to approve an open purchase order not to exceed $100,000 to pay the Family Ties as services are rendered in compliance with the Criminal Justice Coordination Council, if somebody would consider. We have a motion, District 2, second District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, so moved. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Under Public Safety, a resolution requesting approval of a lease agreement for property at 873 Fairview Road. Good morning, Major.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners. Officer Maceo Brayboy of the Henry County Police Department has requested approval to renew the lease of the property at 873 Fairview Road, Stockbridge, Georgia. He's currently a uniformed patrolled officer and resides on the property. This will be his 5th lease renewal. In addition to the terms and conditions of the lease agreement, Officer Brayboy will provide watch guard or security for the park during off-duty times in return for reduced rent. And this is located at Hidden Valley Park.
Anybody have any questions or comment? Now we have a resolution by the Board of Commissioners to approve renewal of the lease agreement for the property at 873 Fairview Road, Stockbridge.
So moved.
Have a motion from District 5. Have a second from District 1. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have a resolution requesting acceptance of a donation from Tanger Outlet Center to the Fire Department. Yes, sir.
Well,
You're
Mr.
not Chief
Chair,
Lacy, are you?
Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
Our partnership and community efforts for fire safety education and the fire department as a whole, Tanger Outlets has been a great partner in them efforts. They presented us with a check for $500, requesting approval to Dave to accept that check for the fire department. There's no matching funds. There is no designated benefit from Tanger. Just requesting approval to accept funds this morning.
Anybody have any comments or questions? If not, we have a resolution in the book for the Board of Commissioners accepting a donation of $500 from Tanger Outlet Center. Have a motion, District 1. Second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Is anybody here from Tanger? Okay, I thought if there was, we'd take a picture, but thank you so much. Next, we have a resolution requesting approval of the performance partnership agreement with GEMA. Mr. Ash again.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. The performance partnership agreement is fundings that comes down through FEMA to the state and then pushed down to the locals. The PPA money is used for the support and operations of our emergency management agency. We have met all the qualifications as a certified emergency management agency with certified emergency managers working in our department. The funds for this year will be $61,177 that can be used for salaries and operations of our emergency to support the emergency management agency for Henry County, requesting authorization for the chairman to execute the documents to move it forward to receive the funding.
Anybody got any comments or questions? I'd like to make a comment. You made a comment this time last year we was coming out from under the snow. But I just want to go on public record that Don Ash and his department, the police department, the fire department, EMS done a super job, excellent job. And we got a lot of accolades from the governor. As we know, the governor didn't do quite as well, if you remember, kind of gridlock in Atlanta. But I just want to publicly thank you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and the citizens that job well done. Having said that, we have a resolution in the book for the Henry County Emergency Management Agency for the authorization for the execution of the performance partnership agreement with the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. Have a motion, District 3. Second, District 4. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you, Don. Next, this is going to constitute a public hearing. We heard this issue at one time, and we tabled it because we had some issues, and I'm assuming we worked all these issues out. But anyway, we got a request to rename Ford Drive as Kellytown Road and a portion of Kellytown Road as Old Kellytown Road. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, board members. Chairman is correct. This was tabled from the October 21st meeting. This is the renaming of a Ford Drive, changing that to Kellytown, and then renaming a section of Kellytown to Old Kellytown because of the realignments that were made of that project from Georgia DOT. We have fulfilled the request as by the board, so we are bringing this item back today to get these changes accepted by the board.
Anybody got any questions or comments? Or yes, sir. District 4.
Terry, thanks for following through with this. It's kind of important for us to change this road name. As you know, we go from a section from Kellytown to Ford and back to Kellytown. So this will just clean up some things and make that road just all the way through Kellytown Road. And like I say, I appreciate you following through with this and getting everything taken care of.
Any other questions or comments? This right here represents, constitutes a public hearing, so I'll open the floor up now for anybody that'd like to approach the podium and give your views or make comments for or against this proposed name change. So if you would come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Glenn Latimer, 605 Woods Court, McDonough, Georgia. I'm a member of Ozai's Primitive Baptist Church, which is at the old intersection of Kellytown Road and Highway 155. And when the changes were made, when the road was moved on the other side of our church building, we noticed obvious confusion about where to go to get to Kellytown Road. If you go up Highway 155, you see Ford Drive, but you don't see Kellytown anymore. Folks took the obvious. They saw old Kellytown Road across our parking lot, so they're using our parking lot as a roadway. So we would like to see these changes made. Thank you.
Anybody else like to be heard at this time? If not, I'm going to declare the public hearing has expired. And having said that, do we have any commissioners that have any comments? If not, we have a resolution in the book. It requests a rename Ford Drive as Kellytown Road and a portion of Kellytown Road as Old Kellytown. We have a resolution in the book that states that, so if somebody would consider.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion District 4 to approve said resolution. Have a second District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you so much. Next, we have a resolution requesting authorization of expenditures for resurfacing. Mr. McNichols again.
We have applied for and received our annual LMIG funds from Georgia DOT. In the application, we provided a list of roads from each district that we would be resurfacing. Cost estimate was done for each of these roads, showing the amount of stone, asphalt, labor, trucking, tack, testing if required, full depth reclamation if required, and striping if required. Some of these items exceed the 10,000 limit, purchase limit, which requires board action. The items on the list that will exceed the 10,000 limit that have to be purchased is asphalt, trucking, and full depth reclamation. The asphalt and trucking will be purchased from annual unit price contracts already approved by the board. The full depth reclamation will be bid out and the contract awarded by the board. We are asking the board to approve all purchases of asphalt and trucking that exceed the $10,000 limit that are being purchased on approved annual contracts. And like I say, the cost of these is in your exhibits. Any of these purchases that go over the 10,000 limit, the board has to approve. So we're asking y'all to approve all these purchases so I can proceed with getting these roads resurfaced.
Anybody else have any comments? If not, we have a resolution in the book authorizing expenditures for resurfacing.
Move to approve.
Have a motion District 2.
Second.
Second District 5. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Board.
Next, the airport, a resolution requesting approval of additional engineering required by Croy Engineering and GDOT pertaining to Phase 2 of the runway expansion of Henry County Airport. Mr. Birch Halter. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Croy Engineering was approved to provide the engineering services at the September 16, 2014 BOC meeting for Phase 2 of the airport expansion at the Henry County Airport. Additional required work has been identified by Croy Engineering and GDOT in the amount of $20,850. The breakdown of the work is as follows. Environmental, $8,400, a DBE plan for $10,450, a pipeline survey for $2,000 for a total of $20,850. All of this design work qualifies for 95% reimbursement, 5% through GDOT and 90% through the FAA. And the breakdown of the funding is as follows. $1,042.50 funding from GDOT, $18,765 from the FAA, and the county's portion is $1,042.50 for the total of $20,850.
Anybody got any questions or comments? If not, we have a resolution to book, resolution Board of Commissioners approving additional engineering requirement required by Croy Engineering and GDOT pertaining to Phase 2 of the runway expansion of the Henry County Airport.
Move to approve.
Have a motion District 2.
Second.
Second District 5. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to move to the Splash Capital Projects. A resolution requesting award of a bid to design the Senior Rec Center, excuse me, at Hampton. Yes, sir.
Good morning again. In November 2013, the voters of Henry County approved the SPLOST 4 referendum, which included funds for a senior rec center in Hampton, Georgia. The purchasing department solicited qualifications on RFQ and then proposals on RFP to design the senior rec center in Hampton, and posted RFQ/RFP number 15-15 on the websites of the county, Team Georgia Marketplace, and the ACCG GLGA. Prospective vendors were notified about the posting via the Team Georgia Marketplace and by email. 16 vendors responded to the RFQ. An evaluation committee reviewed, scored, and shortlisted the top 3 rated vendors. The top 3 shortlisted vendors were then rated on their design approach, solution, schedule, and fee. The evaluation committee interviewed each of these 3 vendors and assigned a final score. The highest overall rated vendor was Flynn Finnerup Architects of Marietta, Georgia. The evaluation committee recommends to award Flynn Finnerup Architects for the design of the senior rec center in Hampton in the amount of $187,500. Anyone has any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Chairman, I've got
Yes,
a
sir.
question. Ron, out of the 16 people that bid on this job, how many local Henry County businesses bid on this?
Commissioner, there were no local Henry County vendors that bid on this project.
Anybody else have any question, District 2?
I just want, really a statement more than a question, is that I want to thank, because I know we have some representation for the city of Hampton out in the audience, and then this has been decades in the making, and I appreciate, Ron, your help on this. I appreciate the chairman's help on this, the Board of Commissioners who, worked on this, the SPLOST committee that put together this project list. This is a pretty exciting thing. You'll probably hear more of these type of statements as we keep going through each one of the check boxes as we go through this process of getting this long overdue promise fulfilled and given to the citizens of District 2. So thanks so much, guys.
Any other comments, questions? If not, we have a resolution to book. The Board of Commissioners approving the proposal of an architectural design service for the Senior Slant Recreation Center located in District 2 at 56 McDonald Street, Hampton, Georgia, using budgeted Splash 4 funds.
Move to approve.
Have a motion from District 2.
Second.
Second, District 5. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you. Next, we have a resolution requesting approval of a proposal to furnish and install digital surveillance camera equipment at the Henry County Animal Control Facility.
The vote of the Henry County approved the SPLOST 4 referendum, which included funds for renovations at the Henry County Animal Control Facility. There's a need to purchase digital surveillance camera equipment at the Henry County Animal Control Facility. Animal Control has requested ONSSI digital camera equipment. ONSSI digital cameras are currently being used with great success at Transit and the Judicial Center, and in a previous resolution that I brought to the board last meeting was for the same system at the Henry County Jail. The software required to run this equipment was purchased when Transit upgraded their surveillance system and can be expanded to handle any Henry County department that wants to upgrade their surveillance equipment. With this new surveillance equipment, authorized personnel will have the ability to view cameras at any computer terminal, as well as a crystal clear digital image if the need arises to review recorded footage. Comtech provided a quote of $16,240 to furnish and install all necessary cabling and equipment for the digital cameras at the animal control facility. This proposal includes all video server equipment necessary to store up to 2 weeks of recorded surveillance. Comtech currently has an annual contract for all network cabling for the county and is the sole provider installer of the ONSSI surveillance camera system. The sole provider letter is attached. The Henry County SPLOST Department is requesting authorization to use SPLOST 4 funds to purchase the ONSSI digital camera equipment for the Henry County Animal Control Facility.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Not to have the resolution of the book of the Board of Commissioners approving the proposal to furnish and install digital surveillance camera equipment at the Henry County Animal Control Facility in McDonough, Georgia, using budgeted Splash 4 funds. Have a motion, District 1. Second, District 4. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. You want to take a break and get some water?
I'm on a roll, Chairman.
Okay.
I can keep going.
Resolution approving a proposal for architect design services for the replacement fire station number 2 located in District 1 of Locust Grove, Georgia, using budgeted Splash 4 fund.
Voters of Henry County approved the SPLOST 4 referendum, which included funds to replace Fire Station Number 2 in Locust Grove. Purchasing departments listed qualifications, an RFQ, and then proposals, an RFP, to design replacement Fire Station Number 2 in Locust Grove, and posted RFP number 15-16 on the website of the county, Team Georgia Marketplace, and ACCG/GLGA. Prospective vendors were notified about the posting via the Team Georgia Marketplace and by email. 14 vendors responded to the RFQ. An evaluation committee reviewed, scored, and shortlisted the top 2 rated vendors. The 2 shortlisted vendors were then rated on their design, approach, solution, schedule, and fee. The evaluation committee interviewed each vendor and assigned a final score. The highest overall rated vendor was the Howell Group, Inc. of Marietta, Georgia. The evaluation committee recommends an award to the Howell Group, Inc. for the design replacement for Fire Station Number 2 in Locust Grove in the amount of $99,800. If anyone has any questions?
Anybody got any comments or questions? We have a question. I yield the floor to District 3.
Ron, you just stated that you said 14 vendors responded to the request. The executive summary says there were 18.
Just a second, Commissioner. The executive summary is in error. It's 14. There's 14 that submitted.
Okay. Were there any local people that bid on this?
No, sir. No, Commissioner, there weren't. Not any Henry County firms, no, sir.
Anybody else have any questions, comment? District 1.
Ron, I've got a few calls from people were wondering about what the completion date would be for that. Do you have any idea?
Commissioner, with the award, if the award goes today, it's approximately a 6-month process. This one might be a little bit longer. This facility is going to be integrated in the master plan for Locust Grove, where the facade of this building is going to be a little bit different than the next agenda that I'm going to take. It's 6 months on the design. We'll have it out to bid. It'll take another month to get it out to bid, and then approximately 8 to 12 months for the construction.
Okay. All righty. I thank you.
Any further, sir? Okay, any further discussion? If not, we have a resolution to Board of Commissioners approving the proposal for architect design services for replacement Fire Station Number 2 located in District 1, Locust Grove. Have a motion, District 1. Second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Next, we have a resolution approving the proposal for architect service design for 3 new fire stations located in District 2 and 4 using budgeted Splash 4 funds. Yes, sir.
Again, the voters of Henry County approved the SPLOST 4 referendum, which included funds for 3 new fire stations. Purchasing departments listed qualifications, or RFQs, and then RFPs for the architectural design service for a prototype for 3 new fire stations, and posted RFQ/RFP number 15-17 on the websites of the county, Team Georgia Marketplace, and the ACCG/GLGA. Prospective vendors were notified about the posting via the Team Georgia Marketplace and by email. 18 vendors responded to the RFQ. An evaluation committee reviewed, scored, and shortlisted the top 3 rated firms. The top 3 rated vendors were then rated on their design, approach, solution, schedule, and fee. The evaluation committee interviewed each of those 3 shortlisted vendors and assigned a final score. The highest overall rated vendor was the Howell Group of Marietta, Georgia. The evaluation committee recommends an award to the Howell Group, Inc. for architectural design services for 3 new fire stations in the amount of $298,000.
Anybody have any comments or questions? District 2?
Yeah, I was just excited to see, this SPLOST was kind of unique in the fact that we made public safety a county-wide initiative and not just each district having to fend for themselves to get fire stations and police services and things like that. And that's why I think it's so exciting that we've got fire stations going up across the entire county, because, we heard the outcry from our citizens, the ISO ratings, the way insurance companies rate how far you are from your fire department to determine your homeowner's insurance. It's skyrocketed. A lot of our citizens had their homeowners rates go up hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars on a few cases. And this is the answer to their prayer. And I tell you, we didn't do this just because of insurance cost. We did this because the insurance companies come up with that rating because they see a need and a concern that, our services aren't being provided. So I think this is hopefully the answer and the relief that our citizens have asked for, that the county's stepping up and providing that paramount protection, which is fire protection as well as police protection. And I thank you guys for making that happen.
Anybody else have any comment?
The Howell Group, is that the same design firm that designed Station 9?
Yes, it is, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I toured Station 9, and it's laid out very good. I am a little disappointed to see we've got 3 matching designs, that there's no price break from the architect. I'd like to see a little bit of price break as we're doing 3 exact same buildings from the architect, but I see that it looks to be the fees seem to be the same. A little concerned with that. Again, I'm guessing we had no local vendors that bid on this.
That's correct. There were no local vendors. Commissioner, I will share with you the design fee for Station 2 and these others is less than the design fee for Station 9.
Okay. All right. And what order are we doing these in, and what kind of time frame are we looking at? Because I know I've got several phone calls from constituents whose ISO rating is very, very high, and are really looking forward to getting this station in there in Kellytown.
The time schedule, and if you go back to the previous resolution, there's actually 4 fire stations that we're building. It's
Right.
just 3 plus the replacement. The replacement for station number 2 will be immediate. We're working with the city of Locust Grove, and they've already started on their design. In discussions with the fire department, the greatest need for the county right now for coverage areas in the Luella area. So the next station that once the design is done, the next station that we'll put out to bid after those 2 stations will be the Luella, and then we'll get with the fire department and the other station. There's another station located at North Mount Carmel, and then the Kellytown part.
Kellytown?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? If not, we have a resolution, the Board of Commissioners approving the proposal for architectural design services for 3 new fire stations located in District 2 and District 4 using budgeted splash forward funds. Have a motion, District 2.
Second.
Second, District 4. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. So moved. All opposed, same sign. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make an announcement now. It appears that some people are having difficulty viewing this on Channel 180 on Charter. So for those that's trying to watch this, it is available on the computer and iPads and computers, but this is why you see people moving forwards and backwards. They're trying to get it lined up. According to our indication in the back, it's being aired on Channel 180, but some people just inundated me and said they can't get it. So I don't know if it'd be their problem or our problem, but I just want to put y'all on notice out there that can't see us on Channel 180 if that's the case. Having said that, let's move to resolution designating the commencement of the Banks Road, Rock Quarry Road, and award a bid for the construction. Rocky Romero, good morning.
Morning, Chairman, board members. Banks Road at Rock Quarry Road is a SPLOST 4 project as approved by voters in November 2013. Staff recommends to designate the commencement of bank roads at Rock Quarry Road for the calendar year 2015. $575,000 for calendar year 2015 is needed for the construction, utility relocation, and construction administration for this project. Since Back Road at Rock Quarry Road was not scheduled for the year 2015, staff recommends to shift funds not yet used and available on the following SPLOST 4 District 4 projects: Elliott Road, $225,000, Selfridge Bridge, $125,000, Hemp Hill Road at State Route 138, $225,000. These funds will be shifted from the calendar year 2014 and 2015 to calendar year 2016. With this shift, funds will then be available for the Banks Road at Rock Quarry Road project. Also, there will also be funds available to start the design on Elliott Road, Selfridge Bridge, and Hemp Hill Road at State Route 138. Sealed bids were solicited through Purchasing Department, bid number 15-44 for this project. Six sealed bids were received and reviewed. Staff recommends the low bidder, Matrix Construction Company, Inc., in the amount of $462,749.69.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Rocky, this has been a long time coming.
Yes, sir.
I actually was involved in an accident at this intersection, and it's needed to be improved for a very, very long time. And got a lot of phone calls about this one, and there's quite a few people that are very, very happy about this. I've actually met with the mayor, the city of Stockbridge, and city council, one of the city council members, about this project, and I'm glad to see it moving forward. I had some questions about the other projects that we are pulling the funds from, but I did want to let everybody know those projects are still going to happen. We're moving the money around so we can actually make this project move forward. And what kind of completion time are we looking at?
Before I talk about that, we're not really pulling funds. We're actually shifting the funds.
Okay.
The funds are still going to be there. It's just a cash flow to keep everything moving. Construction on this, if this is awarded today, hopefully we can start within 2 weeks or so. So we're looking about 6 months to complete this project.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rocky.
Yes, sir. District 1.
Won't have anything pertaining to do that project, but I'd like to know where we stand or how we're moving on the Wynn and 81 intersection down there.
Which project?
The 81 intersection, 81 and Wynn Road. How's it coming?
Yes, sir. 81 and Mount Bethel. Yes, sir.
Okay, Mount Bethel.
And when we're actually grading currently, we're grading, but due to the rain that we've been having recently, and the freeze, and so we're still on schedule. We're supposed to be completed by May, so hopefully, weather permitting, we should be able to finish on time. But we are actually doing some grading and currently working out there. Yes.
Okay. That's all I need. Thank you.
We have a resolution in the Henry County Board of Commissioners to designate the commencement to Banks Road and Rock Quarry Road and approve the construction of Banks Road. Is somebody moving that direction? Have a motion, District 4. Second, District 5. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Let me make an announcement. It appears that we have an issue, and will have to be addressed with the company that provides the service to us that will take it from Henry County to Charter. And Melissa is now sending an email, but we do recognize it's not a problem in Henry County, but it appears it's a problem with the company that we contract with to be the link between us and Charter. So just bear with us, please. Okay. Having said that, resolution requesting award of a bid for on-call engineering design services for transportation project. Rocky.
Yes, Chairman. This resolution was presented to the Board of Commissioners at the January 20th meeting and was tabled for today's meeting. Additional information is included in the resolution package. The purpose of this on-call engineering design services is to expedite the procurement process. Through the request of qualifications or RFQs, up to 5 most qualified firms were selected for 3 categories: intersection improvements, including sidewalks, dirt roads, and bridges. a committee of Henry County planning and engineering staff professionals received and reviewed all submitted proposals. Firms were evaluated through three main categories or criteria: experience, qualifications, and quality assurance. The following 5 most qualified firms for intersection including sidewalks were selected: Heath and Lineback Engineers, McGee Partners, Moffett and Nichols, ERS Corporation, and Wolverton and Associates. For their roads, the 5 most qualified firms were selected were American Consultant Professionals, Heath and Lineback Engineers, McGee Partners, RS&H, and Wolverton and Associates. For bridges, the 5 most qualified firms were selected were AECOM Technical Services, Arcadis US, Heath and Lineback, and Moffett and Nichols, and RS&H. The design projects will be awarded to the lowest bidder per category of the selected on-call engineering design firms. The on-call engineering design services will be renewable on an annual basis.
Do we have any questions for Rocky? Yes, sir, District 1.
Rocky, the way I understand this, that these on-call group that's going to be able to bid on these jobs, in 12 months, then other people will be able to come in and actually open it back up for bid?
We can. It's on a renewal basis, so yes, sir.
But that's a possibility?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was the deal. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a few questions. How did we come about to create this process? How did we determine that we were going to go this route? And is this the first time we've ever went this way?
Yes, sir.
Rocky and I sat down once the SPLOST was approved and took a list at the volume of work that we were going to have to work together on. And so what we did was we looked at some other counties and the successful models they used to manage the volume of their SPLOST projects. And overwhelmingly, the response was to develop a short list so that you pre-qualify the firms so that as you move forward, you don't have to do an RFP for each individual project because they're already pre-qualified. What it allows us to do is to solicit competitive proposals from the firms on the short list and evaluate them on a much smaller scale because we've already vetted them on a much larger scale to place them on the short list. I've been here 3 years. My understanding is the county has not used the short list process before. It is something I am familiar with. It's something that Rocky is familiar with. It just has not been utilized here before.
How much time do you anticipate saving by going with this process?
It's hard to really quantify. I mean, not trying to be glib, really a lot, because what it does is it takes us from how many, 16, 18 projects? We would have to do an RFP, an evaluation committee, interviews, and then a recommendation to the board. That's a minimum per project of 6 weeks, more like 8 weeks to get everything full circle and coordinate with the board's agenda process. With this, we only have to solicit the firms that are on the short list. We don't have to publish it on our website. We don't have to go through all the documentation processes we do for an open solicitation. So we probably, if it's a straight bid, we probably flip it in a maximum of 3 weeks, maybe in some cases for the smaller project, 2 weeks. And then we'd be prepared to offer a recommendation to the board in a 2 to 3 week window versus a 2-month window. So it's substantial.
How many local firms participated in this process?
1.
And how did they grade out compared to everybody else?
We included the score sheets for your review. They were toward the bottom of the list, at the bottom of the list.
And is there a reason why they were at the bottom?
It was qualification based. So okay. The committee that we assembled, they had clearly defined qualifications that they used to evaluate all firms. And so their evaluation score would reflect how they were compared to our qualifications.
Can you discuss the qualifications in more detail? What type of
Well, I'm not comfortable doing that because I wasn't a reviewer. We had engineers on this. Gotcha. We had engineers on this committee, and so that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. What made who more qualified than others?
Okay, you can't discuss what type of matrices they were evaluated on?
Yes, I can definitely do that. We had we publish our evaluation criteria in all of our RFPs because we want the people that bid on our projects, we want them to know how we're going to evaluate. We want good proposals. We don't want there to be ambiguity or any level of vagueness. So what thank you. We allotted 45 points in the evaluation. Now keep in mind, this is not an award. This is to establish a short list. So it would almost be like if you got applications for a job opening. This is really their resume, the resume of the firm specifically related to the projects we put out. So we had intersections, dirt roads, and bridges. And within each category, we evaluated them on their experience. The relationship of experience to this project relates to size, quantity, and relevance. Experience following state regulations and requirements. The qualifications, the quality and relevant experience related to the specific projects and the county goals. Does the description include all categories and how personnel function within categories? Are all potential categories included? And we had a quality assurance section which included the personnel listed, is it adequate to implement the quality assurance, quality control, and a detailed description of their quality assurance plans and processes. So for each category, for the experience, we allocated 45 points. For qualifications, 40 points. For quality assurance, 15 points.
Yes, sir. Are you for District 2?
First of all, Rocky, thank you for me. Last month we talked about, I think everybody up here understands local businesses we recognize are kind of the fabric of what we're trying to encourage here in Henry County. I mean, the more businesses we have in Henry County, the more people that don't have to drive elsewhere to get employment. So it's a good thing to have local businesses represented on our list. We had talked about that one of the good things about us having this discussion is that instead of us doing this on a 5 to 6 year basis, this short list, it'd be on an annual basis. And then you guys even talked about you were open that in the future maybe we could talk about, these are just brainstorming ideas for how we improve this process even more next year, opening up the opportunity for maybe a few bonus points in the calculation for local vendors or subs, because there's nothing. I understand a lot of these businesses are substantially bigger than our current businesses that are in Henry County, and that doesn't mean, but it's not uncommon for there to be a partnership between some of these bigger companies and they try to go grab a local sub because they have people here. It's easier to get them to the job sites since they live here, and then maybe there can be some bonus points or something for partnering up with local businesses. These are things we hope to look at over the next 12 months, but we at least can move this process forward for you guys, get these projects rolling because we want to get everything moving, but also try to improve it just like we did by making a 1 year look at instead of a 5 to 6 year period.
District 1, District 3?
Yes. Was any consideration given to local engineers?
No, there's no provision in the code that allows for that in the RFP or RFQ process.
Okay.
Anybody else have? Oh, I'm sorry.
Rocky, several questions that I get from people that, and maybe you can explain this, is I know you're an engineer and we have another engineer in SPLOSH, and I think we have engineers in GDOT, but in DOT, but do we have people on staff that could do this engineering ourselves instead of doing it in-house rather than going outside?
Yes, Commissioner. We actually have done some in-house in the past. Usually we do small projects in-house. With the magnitude of projects that we have a lot of intersections. A lot of them are going to be possible roundabouts. We don't have that experience on roundabouts, so of course that's where we need the expertise out of those firms, and we also have some bridges. But in the past, we actually have had our SPLOS, and also DOT has helped us on some projects that are in a small magnitude. So we have done it in the past.
The only other question I would like to, more or less a comment, is, I have an issue with this when you restrict it to 5 people. I think the more people you have bidding on a project, I think the more competition it heats up, and I think the better pricing we get as a whole. When you narrow it down to 5 people, then if things are going good and there's a lot of work out there, then you may have 3 of those 5 that doesn't even bid, and then the other 2 might bid, but their prices are going to be out the roof. So I just think the more people we involve, and I certainly like keeping it local as we can.
District 2?
I was just going to add, because I've also gotten that comment about why don't we do more in-house? And I think we have great engineers on staff, but there is, because I want to save us all a bunch of emails. When we do send this out for outside engineering, the warranty work also stays outside. There's a huge liability that is incurred if we try to do everything. And plus, I think we want to encourage, you know, as much opportunity to spread this out to our local businesses as much as possible too. And I agree with your competition. So that competition does make people sharpen the pencils a little bit better.
Anybody else have any comments? Let me make several comments. Number one is, my thoughts are, I think that no matter whether you local or not, that you ought to have an opportunity to bid on everything that's out there on all the projects. That's just me, and I think it's fair and equitable to do that. Now, having said that, being observant, I noticed we got Mr. Adam Price has signed up to speak 5 minutes at the end of the meeting, and he wants to speak on this issue. So, having said that, there's 4 ways you can come before the board. One is call the Wednesday before and in written, and you can be allowed to speak 15 minutes. Or you can sign up here before the meeting and be allowed to speak 5 minutes. Or the public hearing, obviously, you can speak there. Or the third one is if somebody would like to make a comment on the issue, if they would raise their hand, I would recognize that, and the board would vote whether or not to open the floor up, not just for that particular person, but open it up for comment. So having said that, I would give Mr. Price an opportunity to exercise that, because if you wait to the end of the meeting, where's Mr. Price? If you wait to the end of the meeting, it's going to be a moot issue. So would you like to be considered to be heard at this time? I would. Okay, having said that, does somebody move that we make a motion to open the floor up for public comments on this particular issue only? So moved. Now motion District 1, second District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor of that, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Okay, the floor is now opened up for anybody that would like to be heard on this issue. So if you would come to the podium, state your name and address for the records.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Adam Price. I live at 4067 Andover Circle, McDonough, Georgia. I'm also the managing partner and professional engineer at Falcon Design Consultants in Stockbridge. We are the firm in question that got scored pretty low there, and a little bit humbled by that, but you know, we can take it. This is really about opportunity, guys. Opportunity just to be able to bid, not to be given anything, not to be guaranteed projects, just to be able to bid. And as a local firm and as somebody that's lived here for 16 years and worked at various other firms that are no longer in existence, whether it be because of the recession or what kind of work they decided to do, I'm glad that we decided to keep our business based here. Very proud of that. In fact, one of the gentlemen we hired last year is a senior transportation engineer. He lives in Stockbridge. Didn't even know there was a firm on this side of town, south of I-20, that could do transportation style work. We can. In fact, we've done 2 projects in the last 4 years for the SPLOST department, one of which is New Hope Road. It's finished, it's drivable. Qualified by GDOT for the same things these other firms are qualified to do. The difference is, I mean, let's just say it, it's David versus Goliath, guys. I mean, I'm 27, 28 people. Going to be 29 maybe Monday if the guy accepts my offer. But you know, these other firms on this list, I know them. One of them I worked for about 15 years ago. It's one of the biggest firms in the world. Many of the firms on this list are probably worth 3 or 4 times the size of us, minimum. It's probably the next largest firm behind us, or up from us. Some of the firms on this list are hundreds and thousands of people. So I know when you're doing most qualified, and I don't blame staff. I mean, it's a tough job, you know. It's tough. I've done it. We do some review for cities on their behalf, and I've been in that position. It's tough to shortlist people. And I don't blame them. I can't. I'm not going to sit up here and say my firm has more experience than a 5,000 man firm or a 300 man firm. We don't. You know, do our people have the same similar experience? Yeah. Are we GDOC pre-qualified to do this work? Absolutely. Can we do it? I think we've proven that. But once again, it's about opportunity. And I am a local business, and I could beat that up and down. I think you guys have already done that. I think you guys are supportive of that. I've heard you talk on various occasions, and I think you are supportive of it. I'm here on behalf of local business and my company and the 80% or so plus of my employees that live here. You know, we're fortunate enough to find enough employees that do live here. Most of them moved out of the area after the recession because there was no work. So, you know, we graduated from the same schools, guys. Georgia Tech, Georgia, Southern Tech, Auburn. You know, we just want the opportunity. And, you know, renewing it 1 year, I'm glad to hear that it's not 5 or 6 years because that would cut us out of doing any work here. But even renewing it 1 year, what's going to be different a year from now? I mean, I'm doing 3 road projects out of area right now, not in this county. Yeah, they're on my resume, but is it going to be any different a year from now when these same 16, 14 firms bid the same way? It's going to be no different. It's going to be the same selection. And I'm not here to say they made the wrong selection. Hey, if you're choosing 5 most qualified firms, I worked for one of them, guys. I've seen their pamphlets. I mean, they're thicker than the Bible. I've seen it. I'm just here to say we're a young firm, been around 9 years this past month. We just want an opportunity to bid. We've won 2 of the 3 projects that SPLOST and the county commissioners asked us to bid on in the last 4 years. And we won one of them by a significant margin, save the taxpayers a lot of money. And we just want that opportunity again to bid them. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else like to be heard at this time? If you would, come to the podium, state your name, address for the record. If not, I'm declaring that the public comments from this particular issue is over. Does anybody else have any questions or comment on the board? If not, we have a resolution of the Henry County Board of Commissioners approving the on-call engineering design services for funded transportation projects.
I'd like to make one more comment and then make a motion.
Yes, sir.
Is that, I mean, this is always a hard thing, and, you know, because I've told y'all one of my hot button issues, but because I also own a local business here in Henry County, is making sure we have local representation as much as possible. And, but I also have the staff that, you know, has gone through this process, and I hate that we hold them hostage, because we have projects that, you know, we just got a SPLOST report from our finance director. We've got to we got to get moving on some of these commitments that we made to the citizens. I mean, because we're behind on moving forward with some of these projects, and I think we need to not let the bureaucratic process slow this down. I've asked Mr. Price that to give us some solutions, and I think he will. I have confidence that, you know, I've worked with him on other cases, that we're going to be able to find a compromise over the coming year, but I can't have us stop this process another month. And I'd be glad to have a personal sit-down meeting with Mr. Price to make sure, because I'm sensitive to his needs and the concerns of all small business owners here in the county. But I think it is right, because I was the one that kind of rang the bell first last month. But I think now, after we've made some of these improvements of making an annual look at, and we can talk about extending that list next year, as well as adding some changes to the RFP process to give subs and other things that are local, because I understand the David versus Goliath mentality, but we've got to get these projects moving, and I'm not so sure. I've already been told that if you get into the letter of the law of the projects, some of the communications we had would probably, and the scoring this year, would probably not change much even if we put those things in right now. But that doesn't mean next year that it couldn't have a positive impact for our local companies. So with that, it's an uncomfortable thing, but I'll make the motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. Second, District 5. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, no. Same sign. Thank you. Moving down, next we have a resolution requesting Henry County government to remain the fiscal agent for Connecting Henry. Ms. Susan Crumley. Good morning.
I'm here to represent Connecting Henry, and we're asking that resolution number 14184 be rescinded to allow Henry County government to remain the fiscal agent for the reimbursed grant for the Georgia Family Connection. Connecting Henry is requesting to be a department of Henry County government, and the executive director report to the county manager. At Connecting Henry, we would like the opportunity to continue to provide resources and programs to strengthen families and children in Henry County.
Anybody have any questions? If not, we have a resolution, Henry County Board of Commissioners regarding, I'm sorry. I yield the floor to District 5.
I know we've had this discussion, Susan, and I told you my only concern. I'm in support of it, but I'm a little reluctant because there's not representation across the entire county. I know we talked about it I've talked about it with a number of people on the staff regarding having commissioners have their own appointments to the Connecting Henry Board. So I just want to ask, do you have any issues with that?
No, in fact, we welcome the oversight, and we would love to have representation from every district. Right now, we are missing representation from District 2 and District 5.
Okay. So if I'm okay to motion, I would like to motion to approve with staff or Connecting Henry and the county manager working on having each district have 2 appointments apiece for the board for Connecting Henry, if the rest of the board agrees.
Just for the record, because I didn't understand here all you're saying.
We're looking to have more representation countywide. There is no representation, I would say, north of North Henry Boulevard or maybe even Eagles Landing Parkway. And Susan is on board with allowing each board member to have appointments to the Connecting Henry Board to represent the county's interests.
So basically what you want to do is amend the motion to have each commissioner to have an appointee on this board?
Correct.
Okay, now, beyond that, what's the expectations? You said something about, is that the only amendment you'd like to make?
That's the only amendment I'd like to have, that for each board member to have.
I think that'd be fair and equitable to me. Would y'all, anyway, composition of a board, I'm gonna say it would be seven members, because I'd like to appoint somebody there as well. So that would be, 6. Would y'all find that amenable?
Now, Sherry.
No, he said 2.
Huh?
He said 2 per
Let
district.
Sherry can address it.
2?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure if you all received the revised resolution. It should be in your packages, but the county attorney did draft some language to include appointments by the Board of Commissioners at 2 members per commissioner. So that language is already in the resolution, where you all will have the authority to appoint 2 members per commissioner to the Connecting Henry Board. So you don't need to amend the resolution, it's already in there.
When will we be allowed to make these appointments?
If you all move to approve this resolution, I would imagine at the next meeting, you all just notify the clerk of who your appointments will be for Connecting Henry, unless there's something that states there's a time frame, and I don't think that there is.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor amending the published motion that's in the book. And where did you indicate that that's in the resolution about the composition of the board?
Yes, sir. It is the resolution that's published online as well. I think your books were printed prior to that language being added, but the resolution that has been published online that the public is viewing does have that language in it. So you don't need to amend the resolution.
So just for verification, Commissioner Holmes made the motion, so the motion is your stated as already published.
It's not in our books, but she said in the
it's not my book.
it's already in. Okay, I believe.
It's not in printed matter, but anyway, we have a duly recognized motion. We have a second from District 1. Any further discussion?
We're just approving this resolution, right?
Not as published. We're approving an amended resolution
It's
Well,
got the two in
okay.
this resolution.
Okay,
It
so-
already has the two in here.
Okay. In any event, whether it's published or whether it's amended, it's the same. It would be a moot point. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. So having said that, is there any more discussion? If not, everybody in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, no. So moved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, approval of the minutes for the November 18th meeting, and also December the 2nd. Somebody would move that we approve that. Have a motion, District 4?
Second.
Second.
He motioned.
I'm sorry. We had a motion, District 1, second by District 4. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. So moved. District 1, appointment on the Council of Agents. 17. Have a resolution appointing citizens to the Henry County Council on Aging. It appears we have one. I yield the floor to District 1.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve Lorraine Lindsay for the Council of Aging.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, District 3. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. So moved. Next, we'll have planning and zoning resolution to direct staff to amend the comprehensive plan, number 18 in your book.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning.
The item you have before you is a resolution requesting that the Board of Commissioners direct planning and zoning staff to amend the comprehensive plan as needed to correct the contradictions in Appendix C between the future land use technical definitions and the future land use comparison table, and to amend Section 12.02.12 of the ULDC to grant authority to planning and zoning staff to initiate comprehensive plan amendments.
Anybody have any comments or questions?
Dante, I appreciate you looking into this, and I want the citizens to know why we're doing this and what we're looking at. Recently, we had a rezoning issue out with the Family Dollar out in Locust Grove, and looking at the future, we're trying to keep things like this from happening again. So I found some indiscrepancies in the ULDC, in the future land use map that pertains to zoning. And so what we're doing is we're going to actually go in, review these, and take these indiscrepancies out so we don't have issues. We're trying to get in front of these issues with the zoning. And it's pretty important that we do this because it's our future, how
Correct.
we grow, how we move, how the county progresses. We want to make sure that we put businesses in areas that need to be business, put large lots where there need to be large lots, put cluster homes where they need to be in their own prospective place. And so this is the first step to doing all of this. Now, I do plan at some point to review and completely revamp the future land use map, which we have to do here shortly, but that's going to be a longer process. This is really just a stopgap measure to make sure that we have the best interest of the county in mind. And there's some language that's rather ambiguous, and we're just going to clean that up a little bit for right now, just stopgap. So I appreciate you looking into this, and we'll make sure. I look forward to your recommendations.
Yes, sir. And just for clarity, we are due to begin the process to update our comprehensive plan, but that's not due until year 2018.
Right.
But like you said, it is a lengthy process, so we will relatively soon begin that process as well.
Good.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? I yield the floor to District 1.
I've already given you some of on my map, some issues I had that you've been looking into. I just want you
Yes, sir.
to understand that. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board? If not, we have a resolution in the book, resolution to direct planning and zoning staff to amend the comprehensive plan as needed to correct the contradictions in the Apex C between the future land use plan technical definition and the future land use comparison table, and to amend section 12.02.12 requirements for amendments to the comprehensive plan. If somebody would move to.
Make a motion.
We have a motion, District 4. Second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, no. Same sign. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have public comment. Citizens are allowed to voice county-related concerns, opinions, etc., that are not listed on the agenda during this portion of the meeting. All persons wishing to speak for the public comment must sign in with the county clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. You must state your name and address and a specific topic that you wish to speak about, or you will not be heard. You will be able to address the board for 5 minutes. Having said that, number one listed here is Mr. Bill Toney, who wants to talk about the county management spending limits.
Bill Toney, McDonough, Georgia. I went over the county manager's his contract, and we give him $500 a month for a car allowance. That's the car that he drives, and that's one I'm assuming we're paying for. All right. When he goes on a trip.
Hey, again, you should be showing his personal tag number on the. Why are we doing that?
I don't know, but take that down.
Take it down. Okay. So when he goes on a trip, he takes a county car. Well, I'm thinking it may be there'd be a reason for him taking a county car, maybe a bigger car or something like that. Well, car happens to be about the same size. The only reason that I can see maybe would be, just my opinion, is to keep miles off of his car. If we're going to pay for his car, he needs to drive his car. Okay, to his office. From what I understand, I mean, I could be corrected on this, anytime anybody, okay, sorry about that. Well, you got to have a figure too. There you go. That's good. Thanks. Anytime that y'all do anything in the county, anything over, from what I understand, anything over $10,000 has to be approved through the board. I'm at every meeting pretty much, and I've never seen this come before the board. It's his office being remodeled for almost $12,000. I know that we moved the development authority out, cost us over $80,000, and he moves into this office. All right, as I was going over the receipts, now I don't know if there's anything to it or not. This is just my opinion. But when we're going over the receipts, if you see this right here, we have terms of net 30, okay, on the receipt, but it's paid for with a credit card. To me, that was kind of unusual, and I'm sure Mr. Preston, if he was looking, he's the money guy, these are things that would throw up red flags on anything. You got net 30 terms paid for with a credit card. As normal practice, from what I understand in the county, you have a $5,000 limit on a credit card. And I don't know if there's a written rule, but it's passed, from what I understand, that's about an understood rule, that it's $5,000. This one just happens to be $9,990. So that was kind of a red flag to me. What I'd like to do is I would like to ask Mr. Smith if he'd look into this. I'm making a request for it. I'd like to give her a copy of everything I've got, if it's okay.
That'd be great. Give it to the clerk.
You know, I don't mind somebody having things nice by any means. I think that a man ought to have a decent office.
15 more seconds because I didn't start the clock
I'm sorry.
exactly when you started, so I'm gonna give you 15 more seconds.
Okay. You know, but when you got your stormwater guy, you got people head of stormwater that's got a desk looking like this, and this gentleman spends over $12,000 in an office, $5,000 on a desk. To me, it's not right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Adam Price. If you want to rescind this, or you want to come up and speak about whatever. Okay, you fine? Okay, let's record show that Mr. Adam rescinded his request to speak. That concludes the public comment portion. Chairman and Commissioner comments, I have none. District 1.
Yeah, I'd like to invite everybody. I'm going to have a town hall meeting Saturday, February the 28th, down at the Parks and Rec building in Locust Grove from 9 a.m. till 11. And I'd like to welcome everybody to come, and we're going to talk about different things going on in the district and maybe have some questions you'd like to ask, but I welcome y'all. Thank you.
Anybody else? District 4.
I'd like to recognize a few employees today. I'd like to congratulate 3 of our employees this month who have been recognized within their respective departments. Congratulations to Henry County firefighters on their recent promotion. It would be Lieutenant Michael Black, who was promoted to captain in the prevention division, and Lieutenant Luther Phillips, who was promoted in the fire EMS captain in the operation division. Congratulations to those guys. They both participated in promotion and pinning ceremony yesterday. We're really proud of them moving up the ranks. I'd also like to congratulate Tammy Brown in the building department. Miss Tammy Brown was actually awarded Employee of the Month, but I just started this month, and I've worked with Tammy for many, many years, and she's a great employee, and we look forward to seeing who's Employee of the Month down there from now on. So congratulations to these people. If you see them, be sure to give them a pat on the back. Thank you.
Any other? District 3.
The only comment I'm going to have today is I'd like to wish Rod Gray a happy birthday. Today's his birthday, so y'all tell him happy birthday. We met last week, and I don't think we beat you up too bad today, but just going to say that. Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, County Manager, open the floor for you to have any comments. County Attorney, you have any comments?
No, sir.
Upcoming meetings, Tuesday, February the 17th, 6:30 p.m. and regular meeting, Tuesday, March the 3rd at 9 o'clock, and Tuesday, March the 17th at 6:30 p.m. for regular meetings. I've been advised by counsel that we need to have executive session for the purposes of pending, first was pending litigation, or potential litigation as well too, and acquisition of real estate, which I think is right away. And also I understand through the county attorney that the county manager has some personnel issues he'd like to discuss. So at this time here, I would need a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
Have a motion, District 1. Second, District 3. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, so moved. We're now going into executive session. We appreciate y'all coming out, and y'all have a good day if you don't hang around. Thank you.